Hello everyone, this is Griffin Station back here with another Guilty Gear Strive video, and in this video I'm giving my thoughts and impressions from what I played at ArcREVO this last weekend. Now, when I went to play, there was a super long line, and you only got to play one match before you had to get back in line if you wanted to play it, or you had to get in line for the survey to give your thoughts, or my thoughts anyways, on what I thought of the game overall. But I did get to play it 6 times total because the line was super long. It was about a 30 to 45 minute wait, and so every time I had to get into that line, I had to wait that much time to get to play a single game, which didn't last too long. But I did get to do it 6 times total, so I got to play as every character, so I got to experience what each character was like. Now, before I get into this, I do want to mention that I do feel as though Mei got the short end of the stick in terms of how I played her, because that was the first game that I played on this game, and it is definitely different from Rev 2, and so I didn't exactly know the controls, so maybe if I went back and played Mei a second time, I might have a better impression on her. But right now, I currently have my ranking in terms of my preferred characters, how they played, how they felt to me, and I'll go from best to worst, or actually I'll go worst to best. It went Potemkin, Mei, Sol, Kai, Axel, and then at the top we had Chip. Now, I was really surprised at that ranking. I honestly thought that Mei and Potemkin would have been at the top. They're both strength characters, and while I don't necessarily gravitate towards, strength characters, I really like the characters. They were my favorite out of all of the characters that have been announced so far, and so for maybe just because I had such high expectations, for those characters when I played them, maybe those expectations weren't just met. And also, of course, Mei, I was getting used to the controls and stuff, so that could also play a factor as to why she's so low on my list. But in terms of the reason why Potemkin's so low on my list, he was just really slow. You can't run with him. While the other characters are really, the gameplay is really fluid, and really, fast paced, and I feel as though Potemkin just doesn't exactly fit. You have to basically get on top of the opponent and not let them let up. Otherwise, Potemkin, if he lets up even for a second, and is, not, really close. I mean, he does actually have a lot of range. He's super strong. One attack, if I recall correctly, just did so much damage. So he is super, super strong, but you have to stay on top of the opponent. Otherwise, you're done as Potemkin. The enemy will just, utterly, if they can kite you, if they can keep you at bay, they can just constantly, do that, and then after whittle down your health until you're done. So that's probably the reason why Potemkin's on the lowest on my list. I also am just not a big fan of, really slow characters, so that's also probably another factor as to why he's the lowest on my list. As far as Mei, I do think it's just a matter of fact that I was getting used to the controls, and I just wasn't, used to it. So I do feel as though Mei but she is a lot more fluid than, let's say, Potemkin. She does have a lot more combo potential, I feel, than Potemkin. Potemkin is literally just, you do a couple hits, you have to stay on top of the opponent to make sure that they don't escape, but you can't really chain anything, which is a little bit of a problem, at least from what my experience. Maybe some better players had better experiences with Potemkin, but as far as Mei goes, yeah, Mei does have a lot of potential. I do feel as though her pink whale move is utterly useless. Nobody is going to ever get hit by that. I've seen it. I've used it. I used it multiple times in my fight. It didn't land once. I've seen it being used against other people in other games multiple times. It never landed. The animation is to start up is so long. You see the pink whale just come out of the sky and then or come out of the ground and like go towards the opponent. But by the time it's actually going to hit the opponent has plenty of time to block. Even if they're in the middle of an animation beforehand, they can cancel out of it. I just don't ever see a situation, unless if somebody's just not paying attention, that the whale actually lands. So I do feel as though that is, they should do something about that to make it a little bit more viable, because right now I just don't see how it's viable at all. And that's also probably another reason why Mei is pretty low on my list, unfortunately. Next I have Sol. He's pretty easy to pick up, honestly. Like, I mean, like, he's the title character, or at least the face of Guilty Gear, so you would expect that to be the case. But yeah, he's pretty easy to pick up. He has decent range. I would probably say he's more so like a I don't know, like he just does well in any situation. Probably not like extremely long range, but he's really good in terms of mid-range, close range. He's able to get across the stage super quickly, which is really beneficial. It's also really beneficial for beginner players like me, that are able to just get right into the fight, get up into the enemy's like face, and just like literally close the distance super quickly. He's also really like in terms of actual strength, his power is really strong, and so I feel as though it's just overall he's a really good character, and he's, I would say, maybe a bit, I don't want to say overpowered, because of course I only played one game as him, but he is one of the easier characters to get into, and overall really strong. I really liked how Sol played. I liked him actually better in this game than I did in Rev 2. So, and I really like Sol in Rev 2 as well. So that's just my thoughts on Sol. Next, we're getting into Kai. Kai was really intriguing. I could not figure out how to play him at first. He was a bit more tricky than Sol, just in the fact that he is a really long-ranged character, so you do definitely want to keep your distance. He does really well at a distance, honestly. And you just have to work your projectiles into your combos, because you can also cause a debuff. And honestly, compared to Sol, Kai is just, I would say Kai's basically sort of the opposite. Kai is also a really good character. It took me, I think he was probably the second longest character it took me to get accustomed to, next to Axel, which I'll get into in a minute. But yes, Kai was really fun. He's also really fast and agile, and yeah, just easy to chain combos and debuffs and stuff, and I really enjoyed Kai, so I definitely want to get more experience with Kai. I did only get one match with all of these characters, so these are just my initial impressions. Next character is Axel, and this was a character I wasn't sure how I was going to feel on, because like I am a really big fan of like the aesthetic of Axel, and so I was really curious to see how he played, and I believe he's labeled as a tricky character, and he definitely is the trickiest character to master. He's really not straightforward, but you can do a lot of cool things with him. You can, like, with your, what are they called, the dual sickles, you can use those to like unroot underneath the opponent and really just throw them off guard. It is really just like a character that you use to, like, for the unpredictable nature of the character. And that's something that I really enjoyed. It was basically like me learning, like, oh, this is something that I didn't know I could do, but I figured it out in the moment. And Axel, like that, is just a really fun character to me. Probably I guess he is the second most enjoyed character I played when playing this game. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we have Chip. Now, Chip, I do think, unlike Sol, I said that I didn't think Sol was really overpowered. Chip, I do think, is pretty overpowered. He is so fast. He is so easy to pick up. You can just get in, do a bunch of combos, do a bunch of teleporting, and then after I just don't see how you lose. Like, Chip right now is just so good. He is so easy to combo with. He was just so amazing. He was definitely the surprise pick for me when I played this game. I definitely loved Chip's gameplay. He's just so good, and he's just fits so well into my type of play style because I really love fast characters, and he was just so easy to play. I mean, I guess he's probably also a beginner type character. He's definitely a speed character, but yeah, all I can say about Chip is he's like god tier in my eyes. Anyways, he might not be for other people. He might not even be good. I don't know, but I loved playing as Chip. These were just my initial thoughts after playing the demo at ArcREVO a couple days ago. Did any of you get to play it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And are there any gameplay changes you would like to see? Honestly, the gameplay seemed really fun. The only thing I'd really change right now is the HUD, because it is like, I would say probably in early development, I would hope. And in the survey they asked about the HUD, so I would hope that they fix that. They also asked about rollback. I really hope that we get rollback in the game. Like, I think everyone was voting for rollback, so I'm sure that that's going to be hopefully in the game. Like, hopefully somebody's like, no, we don't need this, because I don't understand why we wouldn't have it. But yeah, those were my initial thoughts, other than the survey. The survey was interesting. We just got to request a couple characters, and we also got to, like, just, I don't know, just give our thoughts. It was mostly multiple choice, so, like, and the console thing. I mentioned it previously in my other video that they asked for 5, like, which console you were going to buy it on, which was PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, Switch, and PlayStation 5, or I'm not going to buy the game. Those were all the options, and that was a little surprising. I don't know if that means that we're going to get it on all the games, but I was definitely, like, hyped once I saw that. If this game comes to PS4, I'm definitely getting it on PS4. But yeah, I think that's all that I really have to say on this subject for Guilty Gear Strive. Let me know which character you're most looking forward to in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear what you all have to say, and what improvements and what changes you would like to see happen for the game in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.